Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yo.
Yes.
Who is this?
Who is this?
Oh, this isn't the phone.
What is this?
We're on
the TVs.
I thought this was the phone. I was answering it like it was the phone.
You should be.
Which probably answers the question that you pose in the title of this. Are there booze and drugs still left?
Booze and drugs. Do you have any left? Is the... Well, there we go. There's the answer.
The good news is, right at the beginning of this whole coronavirus thing, I happened to go to California.
That was a chunky hit, my man.
It always is. It always is. And I tell you, I came back with about $800 worth of weed.
Did you really?
Yeah.
God damn it, man.
I never know when I'm going to get out there again, and it's, you know...
So typically, drugs and booze-wise, I save up like it's the apocalypse just in case. I'm one of those just in case guys, right?
Yeah, I got it.
I don't want to just fucking take all the shit at once and be like, holy shit, this was rad. I save it for special occasions.
Well, Doug Stanhope has a theory on that. He calls it excess and moderation. So, for example, don't go home every night and drink 2 beers. Wait until the end of the week and drink 14 beers.
Okay. I tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing it every day, then you're just...
It's about maximizing the moments.
An alcoholic, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like if... I guess it means, like, do I want to go to a AAA baseball game every day, or do I want to go to one Major League Baseball game a week? You know what I mean?
I want to go to one Major League Baseball game a week.
Because you want to have the best quality experience, even if it's less time spent.
Sure.
So here's what I recommend.
Okay.
MDMA, ecstasy, and mushrooms at the same time.
So we call it candy flipping in the biz. Yeah.
Or with LSD. You could swap out the psilocybin with LSD if you're so inclined to do.
So LSD on something like this in the apocalypse is fine if you don't have kids, right? If it's you and a lady, let's say a girlfriend, or you and the missus, you know, it's fine. If you have kids in this equation, here's where shit gets fucked up.
Yep.
I'm tired of seeing posts of people telling me what they're doing and how to improve my life, of like, oh man, there's more hours in the day to work out. No, there's not with kids. There is none of that.
No, you
with
probably
children.
have less hours in the day now.
Yes.
Because
100% right.
There's no way to, like, you do a lot of the things you get done during the day are when they're at school or they're at daycare or you're whatever. Yeah.
Now there's no way to sneak out or get around it.
Which is why I'm starting a lab.
With what?
It's the lab's purpose is to raise your children for the first 2 years until they can speak to a certain level and walk at a certain level, and then you get your kid back. But the whole time you're FaceTiming with them and stuff.
Sure.
And maybe by then Boston Dynamics will have come up with a robot that we can, put your face on or something. So you just don't have, like, there's no point in going through all that shit is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if we can automate the first 2 years of somebody's life and just because that's a waste of fucking time.
So to your point, I think you could be right? I have my youngest is 18 months.
Yep.
Year and a half for those of you who
can't
count.
Yeah.
And he's still like getting up at night. So he got up, twice during the night, screaming bloody murders. If
ether
he was
is the solution to that.
Stabbed, yeah, or whatever Casey Anthony did. That baby never got up.
Well, you have an SUV and a truck. You got plenty of trunk space.
Yeah, I got a lot. She didn't, and hers. But
no, she made a mistake.
That was after, like last night, my wife was just like, "Yo, I'm during the apocalypse and all this shit. Like, I am." She was exhausted today. I was exhausted today, and I was like, "Fuck, man. When is this stage over?" Because some of them, it's early, right? So some kid, like our first kid, it was like 10 months, and he was done with that shit and was like, "All right, cool." But this one, yes, you could be onto something where it's like, I don't know about you, but I got an iPhone and I get these videos once every 3 months. Today's video was pictures of
like
me.
Memories, yeah.
Yeah, but they were like selfies, right?
Right.
Today's thing was fucking selfies. The odd thing was it was all pictures of me today with a mustache for the last I don't know, 5 years. I've had a mustache a lot, it turns out, throughout the last 5 years. Anyways, with that, if I could have a video of my child's best moments, like throughout the day, sent to me.
Like watching SportsCenter.
Yes, like highlights of his day, doing fun, cute shit where you're like, oh man, what a great baby.
And imagine that as a
He's
parent.
so awesome.
So you go through the pregnancy process. I mean, unless you get a surrogate, you can't really avoid that. I recommend a surrogate, personally. But It's expensive.
CRISPR, baby.
It's gonna cost you like $40,000 to $60,000 to do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can afford that, then do it. I would. But anyways, if you can't do that, you got to do the pregnancy part. Mm-hmm. You've got to do the delivery. Obviously, you can't
skimp on that.
You can't teleport that baby out of there. But after that, you do a little get to know you. A meet and greet.
Yeah.
Couple months maybe, and then give that baby back for fucking 18 months. And then spend the next 18 months like doing whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's kind of where I'm at today, where I'm just like, man, if I could just get these super sweet highlight videos narrated by like Gus Johnson. Pay Gus Johnson a little extra. He's off right now. He's not calling sports. You know who Gus Johnson is?
No. I'm looking
he's the voice of our generation. He's my favorite voice in sports. Fox Sports ended up buying him out. He used to do March Madness. But now he does college football on Fox.
I don't recognize him.
Gus Johnson?
No.
Greatest in the biz. Look up his catchphrase. Cardale Jones. He's just...
Oh, does he call college football a lot?
Now he does. Well, he got bought out. He was the voice of March Madness forever.
I don't really watch.
He's the best.
Those are two things that I don't really care about the announcers. I turn the volume down and
totally
watch the games.
Anyways, he's been calling Fox football for the last 2 years, right? Best in the biz. I want him doing my baby highlights throughout the day, and then send me that video, and I'm like, all right, cool. When he's sleeping through the night, and I feel that he's at a certain age where he's not going to fuck shit up, then great, give him back to me. He went up to Jessie last night. She just poured a full glass of red wine, trying to unwind for the day. Just grabbed it by the stem and threw it on the couch. The entire thing. And I thought Jessie was going to lose her fucking shit. But it's a baby, and it's not like you can say anything because they don't know any better, And you're like, other than an under the breath, God damn it.
I disagree.
What do you mean?
I think you got to sit the kid down
and say, hey, you just knocked over a glass of red.
Yeah, because I think
like
a bigger punishment for children is being nervous and bored. That's worse than anything you could do to them physically or psychologically, in my opinion.
Sure.
Kids don't want to be, especially these days. Kids can't handle being bored.
Right.
They lose their fucking minds.
Yeah.
So sit them down and give them the most boring speech ever. But talk about like the end of the world and shit. Make them super anxious.
Yeah.
And they will subconsciously correlate that feeling of anxiety and boredom with doing stupid shit, and they'll stop doing it. It's just like Clockwork Orange, where they pry homeboys' eyeballs over.
Sure.
Try up shit and give them a drug that makes them feel sick. It's the same goddamn thing.
Trying to get a 1.5-year-old to do that is next to impossible.
Yeah, that's why they make restraints, homeboy.
Look, man, I've seen the leashes that parents have out on their
like
their
bungee
kids in
cords
public.
and shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've
But
seen
like,
those leashes.
strap into a chair. I'm not talking about putting him in a fucking leash.
Okay,
That's
so you
weird.
want him physically strapped like an electric chair.
I don't want him to be able to move.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. This is why Dan's never going to have children. That'll never happen in 1 million years.
We'll see what happens.
Not in 1 million goddamn years. But yeah, with kids, man, like I'm watching all these fucking posts of people and they're just like, oh, you should be doing more with your life or do these goddamn workouts. Or if I get challenged for something one more time,
I'm not
like,
doing shit.
I'm not either.
Unless you challenge me to continue doing what I was already doing, which
Yes.
is masturbate and play video games, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
If you send me a masturbation video game challenge, I'll probably do it. I may not record it, but I'll probably try it, at least out of curiosity. But I'm not doing push-ups. I'm not taking shots at home by myself.
No, dude.
No, I'll probably do that. That's not true. But I take hits. Smoke weed all day.
Yeah, you smoke
And
weed all day.
I drink all day, too.
Yeah. What about lean? Did you
Every
make
night.
it through your way to the end of that bottle yet?
No, not even close.
That's the best.
It is, yeah.
That was the best purchase ever. That came like the day before the apocalypse.
Yeah, I still had half a bottle from last time, too.
Poof. You're living the dream, brother.
Yeah, I'm drinking it every goddamn night, dude.
We're going live on Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube. If you're not here, subscribe because we're going live every day. We realize you guys are out of entertainment once you get past Tiger King on Netflix.
What are all these bitches doing right now?
You're all done. That's the thing. They're watching
because there's nothing new other than Tiger King that's come out that's really compelling. I mean, 1917, you can buy it. If you didn't see the Star Wars movie when it was in theaters, you can buy that now.
Yeah,
but aside from those,
Ben Affleck's new movie's coming out.
When?
He's the alcoholic coach. That's coming to today. It's out.
But it's going to be out on digital today.
Yeah, I don't. So what they're doing, all the studios are dumping their movies. and they're
looks
putting
like-
them out now. So the ones that are in theaters, like Onward. My kid wanted to watch Onward last night.
Yeah.
Like all of those movies are.
That Ben Affleck movie
available.
looks like it's a good movie, but I don't care. I've seen that story so many times. It's the
Alcoholic Coach. It's
the-
Hoosiers.
It's Hoosiers, and it's a dramatic version of Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
the Hackman wasn't an alcoholic, but the dad was. The weird thing to me is it's an R.
Yeah, but
I wanted to watch it with my kid, and I was
Hackman
just
was
like, oh, it's an R.
disgraced though.
Yeah, he
He'd
was.
He'd been fired from his previous job.
Who was that? Hershey Squirts? That was across from him in that? Barbara Hershey?
I don't know.
I think it was. I think it was Hershey Squirts.
It was Dennis Hopper and
The Squirter, Hershey
Dennis-
Squirts.
Dennis Hopper's dead. Is that weird?
He is dead. It's weird that I don't think of him as dead. Like, is there celebrities that you don't think of as dead
Like
yet?
the
Where you're
man-
like, oh fuck, that guy's dead.
Um,
Greg Allman? You don't think? No. No, he did not just die. He died like 3 fucking
Neil
years ago.
Peart, but he just died too. He just died like 2 months ago. That's weird.
Neil
to me.
Peart for you? Yeah.
It's just weird that he's dead because I've been listening to that music for so long.
Yeah. I
And there's so many other people in the music industry specifically that hit it way harder than fucking nerd ass Neil Peart did.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like the fucking Rolling Stones are still alive.
Yeah,
for
like
example.
fuck, that's another one, man. I just got my notification that their concert has been pushed in the summer. I had tickets to see them in July.
They can't take any chances.
in Atlanta.
I've been seeing. Speaking of that, I've been
They
seeing.
could. Keith is the one that can beat all of this shit.
Maybe he may be.
He's the dude.
He may be an alien.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot more, not just old but elderly people just walking around out in public here than I expected.
Same.
Because I don't usually go. I go out in public right now about as much as I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe once every other week I'm at a bar or something like that. But even that's not that common.
I miss eating out. I miss going to restaurants. Not eating out pussy. I'm doing plenty of that, brother. Don't you worry about it. No. Miss eating at restaurants. And look, the movie thing, I was already headed in that direction where I was kind of sick of what Hollywood was making anyway. So I don't go to the movies that much.
Yeah, me either.
But this might. There was an article yesterday that said this might be the final nail in the coffin for movies, since everyone now is accustomed to watching movies and shit entertainment at home.
Well, the only reason to have a theatrical release is to get the concession money, right?
For the theater owners themselves, yes,
But why do the movies do it? Who gives a shit about the
because
box
they make
office?
that's where they make a fuck ton of money. So
Yeah, but-
that's how they're making their budgets. So
But it's only like
the theater houses are doing it for concessions.
Yeah.
The studios are doing it simply for the fact that's how they're making all the. So like you see a Avatar, it's like a $200 million budget. That has to make at least $500 million in theaters, or that movie doesn't get made.
yeah, of course. But would they make that elsewhere if the theater didn't exist? Is the question. I
No,
guess.
and you're going to find that answer out now. I'm glad you brought that up. So all of these movies that have been pushed or that were coming out that they're forced to dump online, Trolls, like that's a big one. Trolls 2, the sequel, animated. It's for
Oh,
kids.
it's a kids movie,
It's Justin Timberlake and whatever, right? Like that's coming to on demand instead of going to theaters. This will be a gigantic tell of whether or not this model works for them, because that's an expensive movie to make animation wise. And now they're forced to dump this out. And I think with kids movies, it probably, I think it probably really doesn't matter, where it's like, dude, if a kid wants to watch a movie and he sees it on, chances are their parents will buy it for him. Now you take a movie like the Ben Affleck one that's rated R.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would have paid to go see that in theaters, but since it's on demand, I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a flyer. Or the other one is to wait till Netflix. Like I used to get this right around 2014-15 with all my movies.
Mm-hmm.
Friends started to come up to me and they were like, "Hey man, when's your movie on Netflix?" And I was like, "Man, it would be rad if you could buy it and support it." And they were
no
like,
shit.
Yeah, but I already get Netflix. If I could just watch it on Netflix. And I was like, motherfucker, it'll be there in like 3 months. And they would wait and just wait to go to Netflix.
Right.
With all of this going on now, is everybody just going to wait till it goes to digital rather than going into theaters? Because they opened up theaters in China last weekend.
Well, Disney doesn't really have to worry about that because they have a monopoly on their own content.
Which everyone should, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I'm surprised the NFL didn't just go to
I don't know why the
NFL
major
network.
movie houses or the production houses aren't doing that. Like, why not just pull your content off Amazon Like if they're not, let's say hypothetically, there aren't going to be theaters anymore.
Yes.
Pull your shit off these other streaming services, make your own, right?
Great question.
So is Paramount going to do that?
Yes. So they're all doing that. So Paramount's got a network now. HBO is doing their own thing.
They've been doing that for a while, yeah.
Yeah. And then who else? Amazon already obviously has it. Apple already has theirs now. Netflix has their originals now.
Yeah, Hulu's playing originals.
Yeah, HBO's doing originals. So that's where it is headed. The problem is, if that's where everyone goes, like Warner Brothers, then all your movies are going to be online. There is no theaters, and that shuts down the model. China, like I said, just opened up theaters last weekend. They opened up 508 theaters. The numbers have been garbage thus far, obviously.
Yeah.
But their worry is it because of the coronavirus and people worried it's coming back, or were people just watching all their content at home and they got used to it and they're like, oh, man, I don't want to go to the theaters and take a chance?
I think I think the movie houses, the production houses, will just find a new way to monetize. Like that's how it always happens. If you're a smart business person, so one of the problems that the railroad owners back in the day got into, and this is like a lot of people will run it. If you went to college, a lot of people will run into this in like Economics 101.
Are you talking about the 1800s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the railroad, this is actually in the early part of the 20th century. So they thought they were in the railroad industry, but really they were in the transportation industry, right? And they failed to see that, and then the trucking industry started in the United States. That's how it happened. But that all, like the trucking industry should have been owned by the railroad people. They were the only people that had the infrastructure and the money to even start that. So it started piecemeal, and it took 15 years for it to start. They could have started it overnight, but they were stupid, right? So I wonder if any of these film houses are thinking about more product placement, running native ads on their own content. Like, is there going to be such a thing as a movie that's 2.5 hours of uninterrupted content anymore? Or is it going to be like 40 minutes ad, 40 minutes ad?
So that, that's kind of Hulu's model right now with their ads. There is a rumor out there that Netflix, that is the only way it can go. And I tend to believe them too, because they're how expensive their content is. Because they're in a lot of debt. Nobody really knows how much debt they're in. But
who, Netflix?
Yeah, they've taken on I want to say $3 billion, with a B. Yeah, but because they're trying to beat everybody else out there. I think Netflix will eventually, because you can't jack that price up more than $14.99. I don't think. I think they will be forced to show ads. At least 2 ads in front of their shit, and then everyone else. We'll see how it goes. I mean, you look at independent films. If you don't get into a Sundance, Tribeca, Cannes, or what would you say, South by Southwest maybe? If South by Southwest is going to still continue on. We'll see, yeah. Well, not the Atlanta Film Festival. Nobody's at that motherfucker trying to buy movies. Come on, Alec. Those are the only ways for those tiny films to get out and try to make back their money. Even then,
yeah, but you're talking about the current infrastructure.
Yes.
If 100% of this is digital, then I can outsmart you through search engine optimization and get my movie more time than yours, even if it's independent. Like I'm not going to be able to infiltrate HBO or anything like that, but I can go on AdSense, Google search ads, and bid on things like HBO plus the title of my movie, for example.
Right.
And you'll get a lot of crossover hits from that.
So the biggest issue with Hollywood is they don't have people working who are great at that.
No, they don't
at all. And
which is why I think
it's a very archaic model as far as advertising is concerned.
So
movies.
is TV, though. That's why podcasts, like our show, gets more downloads per episode than good shows on cable television.
Oh yeah. Like way more.
Yeah. So it's like
we're beating 95% of basic cable's ratings right now.
So it's like
per show.
That would be the case, in my opinion, if there are a lot of it's why podcasts is successful because of that model, and I think it could be such for independent filmmaking as well. Again, especially if it's content that people want, like Range 15 sequels and shit like that. It's like stuff that people are already identified with, whether a brand or like a fucking series or whatever it is. I think that we would have a huge advantage over, at least to scale, over like a major movie house, because they don't know how to do what we can do in digital marketing. Like they suck at it.
I agree, and like I think that's why Range 15 was successful. But the problem is replicating it over and over and over again, knowing that you're going to look. Every studio knows they're going to make 10 movies a year, probably 4 will be bombs. But if it's 6 are hits, then you're good to go. Speaking of Range 15, we're thinking about throwing a watch party on Friday night where we pop it up on our YouTube page and then comment along with you. We were originally thinking about doing it with the cast members. Some people wrote in, they were like, hey, man, but it would be talking over the movie. And in a time like this, everybody wants to watch it together and then comment. So I think we'll do that, and we'll try to go live with it on Friday, probably around, I've listened to all your messages, probably around 10 p.m. East Coast time. That way, West Coast people, if you are still working, they'll be home at 7 and they'll be able to watch it. So we're going to work on trying to pop up a premiere of that Friday night on our YouTube page, and then we'll go into Drinkin Bros and have Jared stick it to the top there. And I'll try to set that for tomorrow, so that way we can all watch it for free and have some content where it's us, the listeners, the people who actually supported that movie, and we can all watch it together and laugh. I haven't seen it I have not seen it since theaters. Shit. That was 2016 at this point. Fuck, man. That was 4 years ago.
Yep.
That's crazy, man. It doesn't seem like 4 years. Fuck. Yeah, I've not seen it since theaters. That was one of those films where the editing and the notes and everything were so relentless that after I turned it in, I was done. I watched it at the DC premiere, and then the Hollywood premiere. No, the Hollywood premiere, I dipped out. I had a few drinks with some friends out in the parking lot. And I don't think I've seen it since. Yeah. So we'll pop it up Friday night. It'll be cool to watch that movie over again. That sequel should be made, by the way. That's, in my opinion, dumb. I've heard that a million times, and dude, I know everyone is asked. The script is done. It's been done for 3 years at this point. So yes, that movie the sequel of Range 15 should happen. And the script is done. There is no excuse at this point, other than the coronavirus, I guess. But maybe we'll work on that in the next calendar year, perhaps. We'll pop it up Friday night, and we'll all get fucking wet, dude, and party. What else are you going through right now?
What do you mean going through?
With the sports gone, it has started to fuck with me personally, where I'm just like, man, my go-to, I know ESPN, the number on my remote, it's the back of my dick, and I'm like, I go to press 140, nothing on but an old shitty game that I've already watched live fucking 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm just like, man, fuck. Content-wise, everything else that's on, they're putting Cuomo on, the mayor or the governor of New York, every goddamn night on CNN.
Yeah, no one gives 2 fucks what he has to say about it.
It's almost like they're pushing him to be president, by the way.
Well, New York does have the most cases now, but it's also where all these fucking people are headquartered.
It is, but Biden's your candidate. Get Biden on to talk about it.
They tried that. Did you not see his press conference?
Oh, yeah. So they tried that, and then
it was not good.
Oh,
dude.
It bombed.
He looked that one night in the debate versus Bernie. He looked sharp and on his game, and that's the only time in the last 3 months I've seen him look like an actual human being. Because during this fucking bullshit that he did the other day, he had no idea where he was. He was stumbling over his words.
Yep.
He said the wrong thing a couple times. Oh, here we go.
Here's what happened. They wheeled him out again today, about 2 hours ago on The View. And
oh boy,
nightmare.
Fucking jackals.
Nightmare.
Did they light his ass up or what?
No, they let it go. And that's the thing is, so he's doing these little pop-ups now every day with his publicist. So he was going to do the live news conference every day about the coronavirus. And then after the first one, his people are like, whoa, that's why we're not letting him speak. And I feel bad, man. He served the country for 47 years, doing shit and vice president. He was fucking vice president,
He
man.
served himself.
It's fine. But he was vice president of the United States. I've got some respect for that. And even calling out, the guy who was on the show the other day, I like shit like that. I like old man shit
It's
like
funny,
that.
but...
It's funny, but he's old now, and I feel bad. Today's was even worse. He said we shouldn't find a cure for the coronavirus on accident, and no one corrected him. And that clip has gone viral. And it's like, oh boy. Now people are stitching together every day he speaks his worst gaffes and putting those on a loop. And that has become a new viral trend that's going on. And they're trying to get him not to speak behind the scenes now today. And this broke towards the end of Ross Patterson Revolution. They were saying that the Democrats are quietly drafting a letter behind the scenes to get Cuomo in there in case Biden goes down before the convention mentally. Do you
Where
think
did you
that's
hear this?
even a possibility? There was 3 different articles today that were written about it.
I think
I'll pull them up now, but do you think that's a possibility?
I mean, the DNC can do whatever they want.
Correct.
If they're smart, they will not go with Biden. But they also can't let Sanders get in there. And I can tell you this: if Biden gets whisked away and Cuomo gets put in his place, the Sanders camp, it doesn't. That would be what's a? I'm trying to think of a good analogy for that. I can't think of one, but you can't fuck over 40% of your fucking base.
That's what I say.
Like
and that's
about 40% of Democrats lean towards the Sanders camp,
right?
Give or take. So it's like, man, are you really going to do that?
Well, that's assuming Bernie stays in. So I guess what they're saying is, and the first article was the Daily Caller, and they're saying, look, it's improbable, but not impossible. Could Andrew Cuomo walk away from a brokered convention with a Democratic nomination? And I don't know if these articles are popping up simply because that is a hope and wish now that Biden is out speaking more every day, because they've been hiding him for a while. And then the other one says, this is National Review, could a draft Cuomo movement be in for the Democrats' future? And they're talking about behind the scenes contingency options for their July convention in Milwaukee. Needing a plan B in case Joe Biden continues, they're saying, to flounder.
Even if Sanders, let's say he dropped out today, and then near the convention in June or July, whenever it is, they do a draft Cuomo thing, his camp is not going to vote for Cuomo. There's no way.
That's what I thought.
That would be like a huge slap in the face to them.
That's exactly what I think, yeah.
And that's why I don't think he's going to drop out, because he like if you're, let's say you're in a boxing match, it's a title match, you're in round fucking 13 out of 15. You've lost every round so far, but now you see your fucking opponent wobbling, you don't just quit. You go fucking knock his ass out, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm Bernie, I'm talking mad shit on Biden every single day. Like, this guy can't even fucking speak English now.
I know.
Get him out of here.
I know. He should be down to that, but he's not. This is breaking news. Joe Biden has just said, I don't think we should have any more debates. And he's signaling a disinterest in participating in the final debate against Bernie Sanders. My focus is just dealing with this crisis right now. I haven't thought about any more debates. I think we've had enough debates. I think we should just get on with this.
I'm sure he does, yeah. First of all, he doesn't have a job right now. So I don't know how he's dealing with this crisis. Like, you're not elected to anything right now, you dumb old fuck.
Bernie said the same thing the other day. That CNN reporter was just like, I'm dealing with a global crisis right now. And they're like, well, the president is. You're not dealing with anything. Like, if you were president,
they
you
fucking
would be,
argued in a room for a little while and then, came up with some bill. Speaking of the president, in Gallup today, 49% approval, 45% disapproval. This is the most popular he's ever been. During his presidency.
Look, man, I got to say, because, I chatted briefly about this earlier with my wife, where I was just like, man, this Easter decision that he made yesterday, which we talked about on the show with Dakota Meyer, having the balls to do that or say that is crazy. And it's one of the hardest decisions a president, besides going to war, will have to make in the history of this country. And you won't know whether he's right or wrong probably for 10 years, to be honest with you. That's my assessment on most of these big decisions of war or disease or whatever's going on, is like, man, you got to make some decision, and you won't know for a long time what that's going to be. And then you can criticize it later. But right now, imagine having to make that decision. That's a big one. We'll see if he sticks to it.
Yeah.
Because, look, we're hearing all this shit coming out of New York. And then the latest headline is that half of New York cases are found in adults under 45 in New York City.
Yeah, I'm sure the majority of cases are going to be among these jackasses that didn't shelter themselves, right?
Right.
Of course they are.
But I think the key here with that, because that's that's the big red headline today, is, will it go away? Is it going to be like the flu and they go away and all these people remain healthy because of their age? If so, are we just calling it a nasty flu season and moving on with this shit?
I mean, that's essentially what it's been. But it's, I understand it because it's a novel virus, meaning it's the first of its kind that's infected human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Like the coronavirus existed before, but this is a new mutation of it, basically. And it adapted faster than ones we've seen before, and everybody's always worried because of all the crazy movies we've made about global pandemics that spread overnight and World War Z and all that horse shit.
Right.
In reality, if something was that lethal, we would be able to tell immediately. Like, it wouldn't be 4% of the third world Chinese population dying. It would be 80%. That's real to me. And let's be honest, I don't mean this in any kind of like coarse or negative way. I don't hate old people or anything, but nature finds a way to balance itself always. So if there's not enough oxygen in the atmosphere, for example, it'll start producing more and more trees will grow or whatever. I mean, like, it's a symbiotic relationship in a well-functioning environment. It's symbiotic. And if there are too many people, or the amount of people we have are doing too much, pollution-wise or whatever the case is, the Earth and any natural environment is going to fight back, right? It's just like a white blood cell. It's how it works. So, I mean, it is what it is. Things like this happen, and it's difficult to be dispassionate. Like, I can be dispassionate because no one I care about is at risk, but I understand why other people wouldn't be able to. You know what I mean?
Well, I read this. Somebody wrote a tweet of, obviously there's a huge back and forth of this. I read a tweet that just said, well, what if it was you and you were of this age? What would you say? And I thought about it, and I was like, if I am 65 plus, right, in this danger zone, and I've got kids who are working in the workforce, and they could be out of work for a long extended period of time, and it could be a long time until they got their families back on track and all this other shit. Yes, I would kill me. And
you got to take the long walk.
Let my kids work. Like, let them continue on with their life and the economy, because we've gone through it with a crash like that. And man, the people that were offing themselves and committing suicide and all that other shit, like, those numbers were brutal, man. And it was every day, dude. Mm-hmm. We were hearing about it every fucking day. So, that's where I'm at. But I realize a lot of people aren't like that.
There were 5,000 more suicides in 2009 than 2008, largely attributed to the recession.
Yeah.
And it continued until 2011, I believe.
Yeah. So, at a certain point, you have to look at it of like, all right, cool, what kind of world, at least for me.
Think of it as,
what kind of world would I be leaving behind for my kids or whatever, right? Like,
even if you're us and you have older relatives and you have kids or whatever, like, if there's, I got to be frank here, and this isn't, I don't know if this is popular or unpopular or people would be ambivalent about it, but if there was a burning building in front of me and there were two people standing inside, one of them is 80 and one of them is 3, I'm saving the 3-year-old every time. Yeah. But regardless of who's related to whom. If there was my 80-year-old grandfather and my 3-year-old or a 3-year-old that I didn't know, I'm saving the baby, period.
Well, I'm sure you had to make some of these decisions overseas when you were in war.
Yeah, but that's different. Stuff happens so fast there.
Yeah.
Trying not to hurt kids or anything, but you do have to make tough choices sometimes.
Yeah. So most of us don't, and that's the thing. So a lot of these people on Twitter or on Facebook right now talking shit about all of it, it's like, you've never really had to make any of those choices or sacrifices, so how the fuck do you know? That's why I don't really comment on it unless it's on our show, and I'm like, hey, all I can tell you is what I would do for my family. I can't tell anybody else what they would fucking do, but I can tell you what I would do for my family, and that, me personally, like, if I was 65 plus, and it was the economy crashing and all my kids losing jobs and shit, like, no, man, go ahead and nuke me out, man, and then continue on, and I hope they would do the same for theirs, but we'll see. I want to ask you about this negative rates thing in the U.S. Where it's, I think this is the first time in our nation's history we're at a negative rate. The 1 month and 3 month Treasury bill yields are now below 0.
That means they're paying out more than they're taking in.
Right. What does that mean long term for us?
For an individual? For an individual, it would be like, I buy a $200,000 house, instead of paying a 3% APR on it, I'm getting 3% in interest. You know what I mean? Not that it's 3% here, and not that it's a
no, of course.
Not that it's a loan that large, but a zero interest rate or a negative interest rate. That's what it means. negative interest means what do you call it? That you're getting money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, that's hard to wrap my mind around.
But it might be like, it wouldn't be. I don't know how it's set up. Honestly, I haven't really looked into it. But it wouldn't be like cash in your pocket. It would be like you get a $200,000 loan. You have a negative 3% interest rate, for example, which means when you make your first payment, instead of principal plus interest, it would be principal plus interest minus accrued interest.
Okay.
So you would be paying less than you normally would, but you would be getting the value of the loan that was 6% higher in APR in that example.
If people stash cash away for a house right now, dream time to buy.
Yeah.
The only problem is on the flip side of that. So there was a property I was selling, and I got a phone call today, and they've been passing these fucking weird real estate, I guess, bills. You consider them to help with the COVID-19 virus, and they were like, "Hey, man, we would like to add 60 days to the end of this close and another 30 for the earnest money, just based on so what people can see what's going on with the economy." And I was like, no,
you want to put me in limbo for 90 days?
That's what I said.
Fuck them.
No, absolutely not. And I was like, it's a piece of land. There's nothing on it. And I was just like, no, dude. And it was some developer that wants to build on it or whatever. And I was just like, fuck no. Like that's crazy to me.
Especially not if it's a fucking developer. Get fucked, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was a single family, maybe. But
right?
No way.
And there's no house. It's just a fucking piece of land. But on the flip side of that, like, I wonder if that's what other people are doing, like, as opposed to when they're buying stuff where they're like, hey, can we have a 90-day close on that? And if that's the case that's going on, and I don't know, I'm sure there's some realtors on here on YouTube Live. If that's the case, man, that is really going to fuck the realtors as well, where it's like, shit, how do you recover from that? If you can't sell a house for 90 days, what income are you getting if you're a realtor right now? That's brutal, man.
Yeah, it's dumb. Like, and what other? I understand consumer protections generally speaking, but you don't get to just. It's supply and demand. It's not supply and supply. It's not demand and demand. Like, you have to take care of both sides of that equation. Otherwise, one side gets fucked. Like, you can't just have the fucking demand side getting everything what they want and having their fucking investment protected like that, where the supply side is just out there hanging. It's like the NFL with fucking contracts, basically.
Yeah.
Like the realtor in that case would be the player with a non-guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
So you're banking on. I set my budget and set up my whole family for the fact that I'm going to make $10 million a year for the next 4 years. Great, got it. But I get cut after 1 year, so I'm 3/4 in the hole budget-wise now.
Crazy, right?
Because somebody just made a fucking decision. That's retarded to me, and that's what they're doing to these realtors. Like, there's no way that shit's going to work. They're going to cause a housing market crash.
So I actually got an amendment sent to this thing today, and it was just like, I read it. I went through the whole COVID-19 and all that other bullshit, and I was just like, man, all I kept thinking to myself, because I didn't sign it, and I was like, man, that's going to fuck over so many people. And if they're doing that to everywhere, man. So Hunter Lomax is live on here. He says, I can send you the documents for COVID-19. I actually have it, and I went through it, and that's what it said. And if everybody else has got to go through that, shit.
Go through what? For what? We talking about?
For the realtors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's retarded, man. I mean, it'd be a good time to buy right now.
It would.
You can go look at your dream house, make a big bet, and if it doesn't work out, you can fucking cancel at the last minute.
For real.
Like,
and just lose the earnest money. That's it. Yeah.
So you could do it in 60 days and not even lose the earnest money.
Yeah, you're right.
So what the fuck?
Fuck, man. That's gnarly. In positive news, though, the stimulus bill passed finally. Did they get that any of that green bill in there? Or they finally ripped that out.
I haven't seen it yet.
The 11th hour.
For everybody that was, there's a lot of folks. I'm one of them I'm essentially apolitical. I understand and follow politics, but I do not care whose on what side. I don't give a shit about that. But if you thought that it's just gamesmanship between the left and the right, where the right made an initial proposition and then the left comes back and makes their crazy green deal, blah 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 blah, it wasn't like that. All the stuff that they cited as their main sticking points in that first deal that Republicans offered weren't actually issues. And if you don't understand why, I'm not going to go into it now because we don't want to get into all that shit. But go to Dan Crenshaw's Instagram page. He's got a good post breaking down how the shit that they were demanding was already in the bill, and he showed exactly where it's in the bill. So they didn't even fucking read it. They just came back and said, oh, there's no protections for fucking people or there's no guidelines for business owners on how to spend the money. It's all in there.
Yeah.
And their response was to add Green New Deal shit, try to get some fucking, like Nancy Pelosi was trying to get some abortion shit put in there. Not that I care, but it's just fucking stupid, man.
Yeah.
These people are full of shit. During a national crisis, even AOC's former chief of staff came out now and said that the left is full of shit, that they were just stalling, trying to get a deal during a crisis.
It's weird, man. I'm glad it passed. We'll see what happens with it. I hope the airlines get some cash there.
Yeah, some of these checks may not go out until May for individuals,
Oof.
which is a long goddamn time from now.
Yeah, I mean, we're in March. Look, these last, 14 days or whatever, 10 days, it's felt like goddamn 2 years.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We get some sponsors that pay for this whole fucking shit wagon to be on the air. So let's get to those, shall we? Talking about ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Right out the gates, 25% off. Everything in the entire store. 25% off at ghostbed.com. Beds. The pillows are free now, actually. Shit, you get a mattress, you get 2 free pillows. And you get 25% off. And you get the 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest along with that. So you're knocking your shit down to like $20 a month. The adjustable bases are half off. Man, if you're in the market for a new bed, a new mattress, and all that other shit, now is the time, man. You will never get a better deal than what's going on now. A lot of these companies, dude. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today and get on it. Get shipped in a box right to your house. So no coronavirus. Is it hermetically sealed?
I don't know. Alphabetically sealed, maybe.
There you go. It's in shrink wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, like a little baby.
You can't shrink wrap babies.
Maybe you can.
Can you look that up, Alec?
Google that, Alec. Next up, we've got mybookie.com. Look, we were talking about MyBookie yesterday, and they've got a new promo code with us for the casinos. I talked to them last night. So they're saying, look, man, we know sports are out, and Vegas is shut down. Yeah. So we're going all casinos. And they got blackjack. They get a blackjack tournament going on, actually. The winner gets $10,000 in the blackjack tournament. A lot of fucking money. What do you get? Blackjack, poker, slot machines. And now you can bet on NBA 2K, my man. Yeah. Did you bet on that Lakers game last night?
No, I didn't. I should have.
And
I meant to, but I forgot when I left.
Same when we get out of here. But you can bet on NBA 2K now.
Let's see what's on there today.
Yeah, fire it up, man. Because I remember you said yesterday with the Lakers spread was 6.5.
Today they've got the OKC Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies. That's -9.5 for the Thunder.
Which Thunder team?
I don't know.
With
the current. These are current teams.
No way. I'd take Memphis in that. 9.5 is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
Then there's the Mavericks versus the Kings, and that's -8.5 for the Mavs. Now they have Madden game lines as well.
Really?
Yeah, so Cowboys at Steelers, -4.5 Cowboys. I don't know.
Last year's team? Or?
I guess. I don't know. They don't know what this year's team is going to be yet.
It's true.
And then, that's it. It's the only game playing tonight. But I don't know who's putting it on.
Yeah.
Is it MyBookie that's doing it?
It's MyBookie. So go to mybookie.com now, and the promo code is Drinkin Bros Casino. Drinkin Bros Casino, and that gets you 150%. I mean, it more than doubles your deposit. So if you put $1,000 in, you're getting $1,500 back, and you can fucking bet on all this shit. The weird thing is like half of Drinkin Bros Sports, and if you're not subscribed, go to Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook and subscribe. They were already playing this shit, and they were like, dude, I've won fucking $10K in this shit already. And I'm like, all right, fuck, man. But yeah, that's where we're at sports-wise, man. Drinkin Bros Casino on mybookie.com. Doubles and a half your deposit, 150% on that shit.
There's also the special wagers at the bottom. Where will the next Cybertruck Gigafactory be located? That's a bet. You can.
Is it really?
Yep. First organization to send humans to Mars. You can bet on.
Well, that's a long bet right there.
Probably 18 months, because I think SpaceX is going to try to send somebody within the next 18 months.
A human to Mars?
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm going to go fucking 2030 on that. Human on Mars?
Don't ever bet against fucking Elon Musk. I'll say that.
Look, it's time to Musk up.
By the way, he bought like 300,000 respirators from China or something and donated them to the U.S.
Yes. Yeah, oh,
Some
dude,
shit like that.
he's great. He's great. And so is KillcliffCBD.com. KillcliffCBD.com is the best in the biz, kids. 25 milligrams of CBD in every single can. Go to KillcliffCBD.com today, and you get 30% off with the promo code Drinkin Bros. Promo code Drinkin Bros, 30% off a case. They will ship you a case for free. They have free shipping with that as well. Another fucking great company that is knocking down their prices and just sending shit to you. Go to KillcliffCBD.com today. Promo code Drinkin Bros, 30% off and free shipping. I drink a can of that grape every night. If you got kids like myself, trust me, man. When we get out of here at night, I drink a can on the way home in the car. I used to drink it after the gym. Can't go to the gym. It's closed.
Mango is good with lean.
That grape is good with lean. We did it.
I don't like it. I don't like the grape with lean.
I love it. I love it. Grape is my favorite. It's the GOAT's grapest of all time. Go to KillcliffCBD.com today. Drinkin Bros, 30% off all of that shit. Postmates, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
They signed on for the year. So
you fat bastards ate so much Postmates that they were like, all right, well, this is our crowd.
It was great. Like, dude,
crowd.
it was going to be just a promo thing.
It may have been mostly me. I order Postmates twice a day.
Bro,
so
everybody
been
does.
Mostly me.
Look, Postmates hit us up, and they were like, hey, man, for the coronavirus, we want to give anybody who hasn't used Postmates, because everybody is now, ordering food to their house, free promo code for $100 and free delivery.
Obviously, just create a new account.
Exactly. Just create a new account. Drinkin Bros is the promo code for that. You get $100 in free delivery fees. That's what drives up the price. I mean, if you have free delivery fees, it's just like going to Taco Bell. It's like paying somebody to go to fucking Taco Bell for you. It's great. So use the promo code Drinkin Bros on Postmates, $100 in free delivery fees.
You can bet on who's going to win a Nobel Peace Prize this year.
Really?
The best odds right now are Greta Thunberg.
For this year? I thought she was up for it last year.
For 2020.
She got coronavirus.
The wager cutoff is 29 March, so it's in a couple of days.
She got coronavirus, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she came on and said, I've got this. I don't know if she had fucking coronavirus, to be honest with you.
Who the fuck knows with her? I feel like most of that shit's made up.
So do I, dude.
And I'm also starting, you know how Jared had that theory that AOC was a plant? Like she's a fucking on an information campaign?
Yeah. I
think he might be right about that. I think she might be fake.
I don't know.
She's a Republican agent.
I don't know about her. I think the Greta Thunberg thing definitely is.
Well, it's definitely her parents like fucking with her head.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, she's all in now. So we'll see. But yeah, man, other than that, you know, we've been watching these weird fucking celebrities do shit online. And it seems strange to say that podcasts are the only thing I actually take joy in. And the wild thing about LA, since it's all shut down, the podcasts have stayed open. So it's like, dude, Bert Kreischer and all those guys, like they're doing shows. We're doing shows every single day. And it's been rad for us. But like when we go home at night, like, fuck, I'm out of shit.
I think this is the Netflix and chill culture. You understand?
Yeah.
So people are used to having. You got something to fucking say over there?
Yeah, Alec got a hearty chuckle out of that.
What are you laughing at the video you're watching? Or are you laughing at the show that's happening?
Laughing at a trailer. I love
Jesus fucking Christ.
I love it.
Anyways, we're used to doing mechanical tasks like banging, for example, with media in the background.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's like everybody, no matter what you're doing now, you expect to be entertained doubly. Like if I'm doing laundry or something, I want to fucking hear and watch some shit too. It's just the way the human brain's wired.
Yes.
We say it's like the shower principle. You do your best thinking when you're mechanically distracted, right?
Yeah.
So I think people absorb.
I'm a long shower guy. I like to think about my day, plan it out in the morning.
So people absorb information better that way. So I think that's why things like podcasts you can just have on in the background anywhere you go because of this $1,500 computer we all have in our pockets.
Yeah, exactly. My wife, she has got it on some form of podcast all day long, on, and it's just tucked out of the back of her ass and her jeans, and I can hear sweet, sweet murders being committed and 911 calls being made. All she listens to is like crime, like murder.
She's a
shit.
white woman, dude. That's all they fucking watch now. It's all about fucking murder now. What the hell? When did white women become... By the way, white women are the biggest victims of serial killers, and somehow they're obsessed with goddamn serial killers.
Every single one of them. And
what the fuck?
So yesterday, a box from Amazon shows up at the house, and it was heavy. And I was like, oh, shit. wonder what this is. Open it up. It's 3 murder books. Like one's a coffee table book, and it's like the most gruesome fucking murders of all time with pics. And I was like, hey, Jabes, what the fuck is? What's this and where is this going to go? This isn't going on the coffee table for the kids.
Yeah.
What are they going to open it up and see Nicole Brown Simpson's blood spilled out all over Bundy? Like, no, dude. Wrap this shit up and put it up top. And she was like, oh, sorry. She's like, I'm just super bored. I didn't really know. You know, you only get to see the cover on those things on Amazon. She's like, I didn't really know what it was. And I was like, awesome. But they're all 3. One of them is like the top 10 serial killers, like the best ones. It was just like, oh. These were the best murders.
Did they have a tournament or something?
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, oh, at what point were they stacked up against each other? And who said who was the best?
Yeah, that's weird.
But 3 of those fucking books. And then if you go look at like the podcasts of like the top ones, my favorite murder's up there for forever, dude. Mm-hmm. And it's just white chicks talking about fucking murder. That's it.
White
they
people,
love it.
Man. Yeah, it's weird.
Why is that?
I don't know. I honestly have never figured that one out. I mean, serial killers are intrinsically interesting because their brains work differently than our brains do. Like they're usually very intelligent, for example, and people are obsessed by high levels of intelligence for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Like Sherlock Holmes, for example, or that fucking Limitless shit, or fucking I don't know, any of these movies, like Tony Stark, who graduated summa cum laude from MIT when he was 16, shit like that. Like
right.
that's
Doogie Howser.
It's folklore, yeah.
Delivered a baby at 14.
Yeah, he did actually.
Did.
People are obsessed with superhuman qualities, and I think they're more obsessed with superhuman qualities that aren't technically superhuman. It's just unlocking human potential. Mm-hmm. So somebody that's an incredible athlete or incredible thinker is super interesting to them. It just happens to have a dark twist on it this time, right? And I think that's more alluring, that it's dark because it's fucked up. And film, television is about fantasy, just like porn. It's like an escape from reality. So it's got to stay close enough to reality that I can believe it, but be far enough away that it's actually interesting. And for most people, just going around murdering somebody is not part of their reality. But the rest is the day-to-day life. The dichotomy of living those parallel lifestyles is super interesting as well. That's
I guess you're right. And like for me, mine is people with like incredible work ethics. Like I like watching the process of that come to fruition. Like I hate Taylor Swift, but I enjoyed that doc to see how hard she worked. Yeah. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. Now it makes sense why you have a gajillion hits.
I don't mind her. I don't know what the problem everybody has with her. Look, I don't think she's hot or anything. She looks like she just stumbled out of a trailer park somewhere, but she's very talented.
She's very talented.
She's a hard worker. I'm sure
the
she's
problem
kind of a
is
dick.
they say that she's fake and she's just doing
so what? She's playing
all of
a
it's
character.
calculated and everything else.
She's
I
worth
agree.
$250 million, brother.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
If you watch this doc, she kind of admits to it in it. And Kobe Bryant, the death of Kobe Bryant, that's why that affected me. Was like it was not because he was fucking Kobe Bryant. He was rad. You know how much work he put in behind the scenes to do all of this shit and be awesome. And you were like, all right, great. And then you hate to see it being taken away like that from a guy who worked his ass off. But I like watching docs and things like that on people. Even Gaga, who just postponed her.
She's the best.
Album. Lady Gaga, she's great.
I know 3 people that have worked on music videos with her, and you know how stressful an environment that is. And
it's awful.
They said she is the most professional musician that they've ever worked with.
Yes.
She knew every single thing she was supposed to know when she got there. She did everything on cue. And it was like they said, like you said, a typical music video shoot is anywhere from like 18 to
24 hours. Yeah. And they'll do it because they don't have very big budgets for these things. Yeah. So they'll grind
it's $150
it out.
grand typically for something like that.
And it's the fucking worst, man. One of my first gigs
and you've
in
got like
LA.
60 people on site too. So 150 grand sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they're with all the gaffing, the fucking it's bullshit.
It's brutal.
Like you don't make any money. The older production houses make money doing it now if they do a high budget thing, but in general, studios used to do it like at a loss.
Oh yeah, so they charge the artists. So a lot of people don't know that. Every music video in the history of time they charge the artist for them. So that comes out of their advance. So if you read your favorite artist just signed a contract for $2 million, guess what? By the time they get off that tour, they make about $40 because they're charging them for music videos, touring, planes, all that other bullshit. One of my best friends who produced all these movies with me, he owns the biggest music production house, music video production house in LA, but they do hundreds of year. I mean, they do fucking 300 videos.
If you have the staff, like
Yes.
if you own the staff,
Yep.
then you're good.
Yeah.
But if you have to contract every time, it's a fucking nightmare.
Exactly. So, but they
Especially in California where most of these fucking videos are shot.
oh yeah. So
you
it's
got to follow
it's,
union rules and shit.
It's,
Fuck all
he
that.
hits singles. He doesn't go for the home run. He hits singles, and they crush it. And they have the biggest people on the planet.
Anyways,
they're all out of work.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
And the crazy thing is like the reason I'm bringing up Lady Gaga is her new album was supposed to come out, and it's being pushed now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised by that. Like, music is music. Typically, artists now are dropping albums out like the night before or at midnight, and it just magically shows up. You know, even Beyonce does that shit now. I'm surprised she is, and it's like, man, if she is, everybody's out of work and all that other shit out there, and it's getting bleak in Hollywood right now. Agencies are letting half of their fucking companies go. I saw Paradigm just let go half of theirs. I was with them for a good stretch, 3 or 4 years, and I can say I'm happy to see that. Most of those guys were cocksuckers, but but it's getting weird here if shit doesn't return back to normal soon.
Well, that's, again, we mentioned this a couple
Last
times
night,
in the last week. It's just like, at what point do you say this is an acceptable amount of loss? Like, we believe we can contain this, 99.5% now. So we think there might be a 0.5% mortality rate. Do we just go back to normal? I think the answer's got to be yes. If it's in a manageable range, you just have to define what that range is.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, we know that there's a causal link between poverty and mortality rates generally, without respect to other diseases and shit like that. Because the quality of food you eat goes down. This is long term.
Yeah.
Quality of food you eat. And look, if you're one of those people that just got over the hump, you just started saving some money, and you were fucking about to start going downhill for a change instead of climbing uphill all the time, you just got butt fucked, right? Probably for 3 years.
Yep.
And if you're a person in your 30s or 40s, that's a long goddamn time considering your relative age. So I think it's incumbent upon us to figure out the quickest way to get back to a normal economy. And if that involves risking some at-risk people, that it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I agree.
We do that all the time.
I agree. Who was on here? Franco Melendez says, we need to keep a running tab on the amount of best friends Ross has. 15. I always keep it at 15. I get about 6 from college, 5 of you dummies, and then maybe 3 actors. That's it. 15 is my number. I never keep best friends more than that, I don't think. Do you?
I don't do that. I just don't categorize people.
The ones from college I'm on a group thread with. You guys were on a group thread with. And then there's about 3 actors, and that's about it.
I either see you on a regular basis or you don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
To me.
Exactly. To me, I keep in contact with about 15 people in my life. That's why I don't really care about the phone either, where it's like, shit. When you see me open up a flip phone, I know I've said it before and I'll say it a million times. That's when you know that it's all over and I've got fuck you money, because there's only about 15 people I need to stay in contact with, and that's about it. That number doesn't really change. And I'll say this, Franco. I'll even go a step further. If I hadn't met all you assholes on a movie, through podcasts, like that number would have been probably at 10. As a dude in this life, especially in your 30s, right?
Yeah. You're
pretty much done with friends unless you have kids that go to school and then you meet them at parties and all this other shit. But even then, 90% of them, you're like, if I see him, I see him. It'll be cool at a barbecue, I guess. But they're not my best friends.
Can't wait for that.
What's that?
I said I can't wait for that, making awkward small talk at a fucking gymnastics thing that my kid's doing.
That's what I'm saying. You can't have kids, because that's what it is.
No, I'll tell him to fuck off. I don't give a shit, dude. When have I ever given a shit about that?
I can see the look on the parent's face if you go, hey, so is that Sammy? Is that yours? Oh my gosh. Well, Kristen just loves Sammy, and then you just turn and go, fuck off. Like, that would be my.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna be rude about it, but I will say fucked up shit. Like, yes, Sammy's been having night terrors. He's awake all night drawing pictures of guns. I don't understand why.
I can imagine the look on a parent's face if you said that. What? Night terrors? Yeah, he's been up all night drawing pictures of guns. You're the first one I've told.
Yeah.
But by the way, I'm going to sign up for Bounce one more session if you want to. Holy fuck, dude.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Yeah, they do. They really do. So. Let's answer some of the viewers' questions here since we're live on YouTube. And again, we're going to try to go every day and just say, fuck it. There's always breaking news and crazy shit going on. So,
yeah.
I want to address our OG homies. We do this on Ron's Patterson Revolution as well. Reed Whites, Chris Beerworth, Craigers is always here.
Yep.
Craig Dulesky, Stephen Hawkins,
Ruben
which
Schneider.
always freaks me out because I want to say Hawking.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawkins is way too
Different
close to
guy,
Stephen
yeah.
Hawking.
Ruben Schneider's
Ruben Schneider's up in this Mogwai.
Fubar and David Wagner. And
Yeah,
Del
so
Santos here.
That's where we're at. So we'll take your questions. Chris Carlock says take away all their game devices. He's talking about the kids' conversation earlier. So at our house we limit them. I limit them
kids.
on iPads and other shit like that, and I don't buy them video games. And I don't know that I'm going to.
I'm
do
actually
that.
developing a phone right now where you can set a limit for how much time it can be used in one day. And there's a clock on it, right? So if there's a timer and it counts down, and when it hits 0, if you're still touching it, you get electrocuted.
Well, I don't know if electrocution.
I mean, not like
just shut down,
not
but
dead,
yeah.
but it's gonna zap you a little bit.
Yeah, because
And then every time you pick it up until that next 24-hour period starts, you get zapped again.
Yeah, the odd thing about this, Christopher, is with kids being off of school, we had to do online classes, and like for kindergarten. So he reads books. He has to press record and then turn it in, and then the teacher will give notes and then send it back. So he's kind of stuck. He has to be on a screen, which is not a good thing because then they can just pop on down to the rest of the shit, YouTube and everything else.
Yeah. I mean, just wait 6 more years until he's pounding off.
Oh,
and it's all schools going to be online then, and you're just going to have like caked adolescent semen everywhere.
Oh God! Imagine if you had a phone like
don't pick up. Here's a
Imagine
lesson.
you had a cell phone growing up, dude.
Oh yeah, I know. Here's a lesson. If you're a parent out there and you have a male child and that child is 11, 12, 13 years old, don't pick up any towel in your house with bare hands.
At all.
Like never.
It'll be coated and everything.
There's just cum everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gross talking about adolescent dudes cum, but it's everywhere. I remember I came on everything.
Yeah, I could see that.
And
too.
if I didn't cum on it, I had cum on my hands when I touched it. You know what I mean?
Oh God, just shaking hands, dude, slapping brothers on the back. I can see you doing that. Did you guys? Let me ask you this, because we grew up in an age without porn on cell phones. Did you go in and buy the magazines? Were you the guy, or was it your friend?
I didn't have any magazines.
We did.
I had videos that I got from random people, I guess, but I had
like VCR tapes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But mostly it was just like I would watch fucking MTV and VH1 and shit like that, or Cinemax. We actually had Cinemax, so I watched it.
we didn't have that, but we had the black labeled magazines, and there was like because up front was Playboy, and then Hustler.
Playboy, yeah, Hustler's a little more my scene.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Behind that was like the fucking hardcore penetration shit.
Yeah, they got started really early on the niche stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it's 3 adjectives followed by something.
Yes.
Right? So it's like big ass, big tit, blonde. That's 3 adjectives to describe this woman. That's a little. I wanted a little more variety than that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But those hard penny mags, those penetration mags, my buddies would always send me in because I wasn't like I laughed, but like I had a good hearted chuckle. It was one of those things where you have your own secret. So like I would walk in and I would play it totally straight and dramatic, and I'd be like, "Can I get the black asses and big titties one?" Nope. You're gonna have to. It's the third one behind that one. That's the one I want. That's the one I need. And then I would pay and whatever, just because I knew as soon as I left the reaction of what it would be. So my buddies would be out in the car watching the clerk's reaction versus mine, and that was part of the little game too.
Jared and I used to do that all the time, but not with porn. Like I went into Walmart this one time, and I got a cart, and I, cruised through Walmart, and I got a big bag of lime, and a ski mask, and gloves, and a shovel, and then I went to the gun counter and bought a shotgun. And the guy was like, "I don't think I can see." He was like looking at my cart. He was like, "I don't think I can sell this to you." I'm like, "Yeah, you can. As a matter of fact, here's my concealed carry permit. You can sell it to me right now." with no background
Really?
check. Yeah, and he's like, I think I need to get my manager. I'm like, go get him. Let's do this.
Go.
Yeah, so I while he was gone, I just put a bunch more ammo on the fucking thing.
Did he have to sell it to you?
Yeah.
That's so funny, man.
Fuck that guy.
I bet he was checking time codes on that camera and being like, hey,
Oh
man,
yeah, he's like, we better.
as soon as that murder goes down, go
Yeah.
ahead and mark 1:28 p.m. on 3/17.
It's funny though. Like I think Aziz Ansari does a joke about that, about going into like a CVS or Walgreens and buying a bunch of fucking writable DVDs and a lube every time he went there.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is he doing to these women? He's like giving them a mixtape every time he bangs somebody. Like, there's like a box of condoms, a bunch of lube, and a thing of DVDs. You should all be doing stuff like that. You should be trolling people and then sending me the results.
Yeah. You should. Send them to Dan Holloway. Are you Dan Holloway on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, send them to Dan Holloway. Fubar38 on YouTube says, apparently Pornhub Premium has just become free in the UK due to coronavirus. Always a silver lining. You know, yes, that is, man. Because you can't put that shit on your credit card. Because your wife's going to see there's a Pornhub charge. I'm always curious of what the starred fucking content is on Pornhub. Like,
I don't care enough to fucking pay for it.
I don't either.
I
don't either.
I've waited a couple of times just to see what the like whenever they do a free thing, like, oh, it's free for the weekend, like on Valentine's Day, for example. And I'll check some of it out, and I'm like, yeah, it's not that much better.
No.
Get fucked.
No.
I'm not paying for that.
And back to the friendship thing real quick to tie that up. If you're past 35, you're not going to have any more best friends, and that's just the way it is. If you happen to meet a best friend after 35, you're lucky at that point.
I mean, the only real way to do it is to have such an extreme bonding experience that it probably is illegal.
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking about, what if you were a first date trapped with somebody on the coronavirus and like the city went under lockdown and you couldn't go anywhere? And let's see you hated that person. I get trapped with somebody we talked about this on one of these shows. I got trapped with somebody on a first date where her fucking house burned down.
And what, she stayed with you?
She had to live with me for like
She didn't have
8
to live
days.
with you.
Well, I mean, I would have been an asshole, so I let it happen. I let it go down. But it was wild shit. Luckily, she was cool. We ended up dating for a while after that. But that could have turned all sorts of fucked up. What if you were on a shitty one? What if you were on some weird Tinder date and you woke up and the city was locked down? I was just like, oops, sorry about it.
Well, I mean, you got to prepare for things like that.
You really do.
That's why I bought the lime and the shovel and the ski mask and the shotgun, obviously.
Craig Delaski says, I want to challenge Ross in some cornhole again. I never lost. That's not true. I lost once. To Brooke's husband, Bayou Brooke.
Really?
Her husband's really fucking good at cornhole. And I was unprepared for that. We went into a battle one night, deep into the night, where we couldn't see anymore. And I sunk all my bags in at once. But he's really good at cornhole. So he did beat me, and I'll give him that. That's about it. Any other fucking bar game, I typically don't lose. And you guys already heard the Post Malone story. The Poos. That's a great name. The Poos. Pooze. Imagine all the parent trolling Dan could do with a kid and an Insta account.
I know. I should really just wear a fucking body camera all day and see what happens. It'd be fun.
Is Ben Affleck preparing for the role by continuing to be an alcoholic? That movie was shot when he was at his fucking height of that shit. Yeah. So I'm sure that was his excuse. But look, Ben's doing fine, man. He's out and about with his new fucking 24-year-old girlfriend, completely ignoring the coronavirus. I mean, they were making out on a car in a neighborhood yesterday, like eating ice cream and shit.
Maybe
like
they both got
nothing was going
tested
on.
and they don't have it, so they're good.
I guess so. Look, if you're a celebrity, you get tested.
That's how we know that this is not a truly fucking like life-changing pandemic, because not one celebrity's died.
Well, if Prince Charles dies, then we can treat it seriously.
Not really. He's fucking old as shit.
Yeah.
And
if he dies before the Queen, ugh.
That would be hilarious, because that means fucking William's going to be the king.
Yeah, he's the next king.
No, it's all the inbreeding with those guys. Come on, man.
Yeah.
There's the English royalty in general, the amount of inbreeding that's going on. I'm surprised any of them are still alive.
Crazy, right?
I'm surprised their eyes aren't touching.
All of them live to be 1,000, and real close eyes.
It's because they're billionaires.
Yeah, that's the way it is, dude. David Wagner says Black Sabbath is the band that Dan needs to be in. You a Sabbath fan?
Who's not a Sabbath fan?
Right? If somebody out there says they're not,
I think
you can't fucking talk to them.
I think Jack would nut tap me the next time we hung out. You can't go to fucking, like, me, Bert, and Jack took his kids with his girl to fucking get ice cream 2 weeks ago. So if I said, it actually was a funny conversation. I was swearing a lot, and Bert, being the fucking kindly Western, 1850s throwback that he is, he's like, "Hey man, watch it with the language." I'm like, "Did you just tell me not to swear in front of Ozzy Osbourne's grandchildren?"
Yeah.
You can get fucked. Piece of shit. Fuck you. Fuck you, Bert.
Is Top Gun 2 still going out, Craig? That is a great question, man. They've got a lot of money in that, and that was going to be their big summer hit.
It was supposed to come out in May, right?
No, I believe June. So keep your eyes on that, man. I would have to imagine they will push it.
We'll see.
They got a lot of fucking money in that movie. Man.
Yeah. I think for my idea to organically integrate advertising into stuff to boost revenue if you're going to lose the theaters.
Yeah.
I think you have to know that when you shoot the movie. Like, it's a difference between shooting a movie for 3D and then making a movie that was already shot into 3D. You can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like it's natural flowing and shit like that. And advertising in movies is nothing new.
Tom Cruise wanted to fly an F-18. The government said no.
Correct.
What are the rules on that?
That you have to be over 5'3", I think. I don't know. It's a fucking midget. You kidding me? I love midgets.
Is there a height? Is there a height?
There's a height requirement on both ends.
Really?
David Robinson couldn't fly because he was too tall.
He was like 6'11", right?
That's one of the reasons. Well, he was 6'7", right at the cusp. I think 6'9" is the.
And he grew in college, right?
Yeah, he grew from 6'7" to 6'11" in college, and he grew another 2 inches in the NBA. But they let him out of his fucking contract for that reason.
Mike Robb says, I already wait for the movies to go digital instead of going to theaters. A lot of people do, man.
I do. I rarely go to theaters.
Same. With kids, it's different because you're looking to get them out of the house and do some stuff. Ironically, I just went to the movies. I took my kid to the movie right before all this shit happened. And it was fun. We saw Call of the Wild with Harrison Ford and the dog.
Not familiar. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I still enjoy going to theaters. I hope the experience isn't killed, but we'll see. The reason why I stopped personally is I just didn't really like the content. Like, I'm not a big superhero guy. But like, dude, going to see a movie with my kids and all that stuff, like, it's fun, man. And they started selling booze at all the theaters. So like, I can roll in, get a White Claw, he can get a fucking kid's snack tray, and we can be on about our day. I'm surprised though that kids know what White Claw is already.
A White Claw for children, you mean?
No, children know what White Claw is like. I picked some up the other day at the store, and my kid looked at me and he goes, "Oh, that's what Brooke drinks in the neighborhood." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what Brooke drinks. Definitely what Brooke drinks, and that's what we drink." So they know. The kids already know at 5 years old.
I drink it because it doesn't have any calories, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot anyways, 100 calories.
Rabbit FXT12. The NFL has a contract for a few more years. Then they will be up for grabs. So that's a great question here, Dan. Does the NFL, if they're smart, right, why wouldn't they just switch? They own the NFL network. Keep all of those games on there. Sell the Game Pass, because that's the most valuable thing. Did you have the Game Pass? I had DirecTV for years simply for that goddamn NFL Game Pass, so I could watch, because I was living in L.A. I never got to see the Falcons play. So I would get the Game Pass. I was stuck with DirecTV.
I have it for baseball.
Yeah.
So but I'm a bigger baseball fan than I am football.
So, but MLB owns all that shit, right?
I think they co-own it with ESPN now, actually. Like the MLB.TV thing.
So it's coming
or it's at least licensed through ESPN because it's on ESPN's back end now.
Got it. So if I'm the NFL, it just makes no sense, man. Just run.
They must be making
your own network.
An amount of money that's hard to walk away from for the amount of effort they put in for the networks. That's the only way. But I don't understand. If that's the case, then why have the NFL network at all?
That's what I don't get. Because it's a jankier version of ESPN. So it's like, to me.
I mean, if you could have a monopoly over a $15 billion a year industry, that's not a bad fucking thing to do.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's where it's headed. We'll see. We'll see. A live chat, Michael Hando. A live chat over Range 15 would be a blast. Yeah, so I'll try to set that up tomorrow. And then we're going to do the news, fake news live tomorrow. And we'll announce the time and Friday. I think we're going to do it Friday at 10. But I'll announce all that
10
tomorrow.
p.m. at night?
Yeah, 10 p.m.
Yeah.
at 9 on Friday night. And then we'll all try to jump in and comment. That way people can hear it. I understand what you were saying of like, well, you guys would just be talking over the movie, assuming we've seen it. You're right. So we'll see. What else we got here?
In Dan's eyes, you were never alive, Matt Carlson says. That's true.
Yeah, never alive. Never alive. Strike Force and Jameson is my jam. Never tried it. I've never tried Strike Force and Jameson, obviously.
I don't really mix Jameson with anything. I just drink it.
Lane Mendenhall. I'm down to watch Range 15 on Friday. We're going to do it, man. Yeah, I think Friday night at 10. Again, I'll set that up tomorrow. And Richard Denoff's up in here. Somebody just said they're thinking about closing down the streets in New York City. I had heard that this morning, actually. I don't know if that's going to happen. Boy, there's so many fucking people living in New York City. Like, that would be crazy.
8 million in the city.
Could you imagine? He'd be singing out. What are you going to sing out the windows and shit? And all the fucking apartments are so small.
Some place in Italy had a rave the other day. Did you
Yeah,
see that
outside
shit?
on the balconies.
It was dope
Yeah.
as fuck, actually.
Yeah.
That's actually, if you had, if you could do a live stream of a rave album, let's put it on YouTube and everybody could sync up and the whole neighborhood was all playing it at the same time. They're pretty dope.
Yeah,
if you're on drugs and shit.
We talked about a DJ earlier who did a 10-hour live sesh on Instagram. He went from like 12,000 followers to like fucking 5 million.
It's not a bad idea right now. I know right? A lot of people are fucking doing more and more live shit. I know Josh Wolf, our buddy, comedian Josh Wolf, has been doing a lot of live stuff.
Been on the show before, yeah.
A lot of comedians.
He's funny, man.
I think Steve Brand's been doing some stuff too.
There's so many celebrities without writers and shit, like Will Ferrell and those guys. Like without writers, you're really seeing behind the curtain where you're like, oh fuck, you're not great without writers and a fucking full staff full of people.
Well, anybody's going to be better like that, obviously. And I mean, it depends on what level of, like doing an hour-long set is so much more difficult than anybody thinks. Like if there's a comedian out there that has an hour, if you watch a stand-up comedy special and it's an hour long and it was pretty funny the whole time, that is a fucking masterpiece.
It is, yeah.
It is not easy to do that. Just getting to learn where the laughs happen so you can pause and not fuck up your next joke. There's so many little things that go into that whole hour.
Yeah.
That, no one understands.
And if you do have Netflix, the two that I recommend, Tom Segura's got one out today. And then Bert Kreischer just had one out last week.
Big Boy.
Yep. Birdie Boy,
that's it, yeah.
Birdie Boy, and I forget. Oh, Tom Segura is his Ball Hog. I haven't seen it yet, but those two are great on Netflix. If you're looking for comedians that we enjoy.
When are you bringing Clef and Dale back? Whenever Jared and I are in the same location again. I'm surprised because we didn't really hold it together the whole time. We were still laughing because we came up with that idea that morning. Like, we were at a fucking party shop and I saw mullet wigs. I'm like, hey, I've got an idea. Let's fucking do these stupid characters. And he's like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
He came up with the names and the location, and we didn't write anything. We just fucking did it. So the next time we'll probably actually write some jokes. So it'll be funnier. But it's a shit show. I'm very surprised how many people have reached out. I've gotten like 40 DMs in the last couple of days, just like, hey, when's this coming back? I'm like, you need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Because the point of all that is we don't write shit most of the time. Like 90% of the content you see from us, we're just being idiots.
Yeah, it's crazy. Somebody said you should do Pool Boy Live. You know, my fucking kids goddamn stole my mouse, and I can't find it. He hid it somewhere.
You think you strangle paid him with? Oh, he's not old enough
No,
yet.
it's a mouse. It's like
not a...
Nope. No,
not that that's what you use them for.
It's the cordless one for the the shitty one they give you with the Apple.
I don't use
computer.
cordless mice because I want to be able to strangle myself with it.
Yeah, you strangle bait with it. Yeah, and I understand.
Like,
that.
What's the point of even having it?
Totally get it.
Yeah, stupid.
Totally get it. But I will. I'll do that off my Facebook page. I'll stream Pool Boy or FTR American Badass coming up here. That way I can delete it because we don't own the rights. For Range 15, we own the rights, so we'll do that. Live on the YouTubes on Friday nights. In the meantime, we're here for you, kids. We'll be going live pretty much every single day. I think except for Mondays is the only day we won't.
And you guys,
Sunday night jams for people on the road.
Are we gonna put up an FTE this week? You want to do that?
What's an FTE?
Saturday night, Dakota show.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to. Front Toward Enemy, yeah.
So Saturday night, we're going to put up the latest episode of Front Towards Enemy with Dakota Meyer, his new show that's under our network, just so you guys can get eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
And get your earballs on it as well.
And since Dakota's got a helicopter and he lives so close to Jared, hopefully he'll be back on the show a lot. We enjoy having Dakota on.
Yeah, he was on
He's
last night today. Today's Medal of Honor Day, so if you happen to know any of these guys or if you follow them, go say hi and thank them for their service and be a dick about it because it's funny. They all have a pretty good sense of humor. The other part is, that's a good show. So I think he actually did a show with Jared today.
He did, yeah.
This morning. So that might be that one that you see this weekend.
That'd be great. So sign up for that. And look, we'll try to be here through the apocalypse with you, man, every single day. And then we'll try to do Range 15 on Friday night at 10 o'clock on this channel. Subscribe to Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube for all you audio listeners. And see what the magic's all about. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. We are the Drinkin Bros. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone.
Fuck off.